Hi guys, it's Alex from AWC and I'm with Jack Smith from AutoID running our first podcast together in quite a long...
Well, I think it's the first time actually.
Well, yeah, it is the first time.
But it's been a long time coming, I would say.
100%.
Me and Alex have been married now for 12 years, happily married.
It's a little longer, but...
but yeah, obviously we're good pals off camera. So
yeah,
it's
definitely.
Good
So
camera.
obviously, do you want to run into what you do, who you are, all that stuff?
Yeah. Obviously, you guys know what Alex does, but you may or may not have heard of us. AutoID is a car accessories retailer, so we specialise in styling products. Don't really air into the performance side of the market. That's already catered for. There's plenty of really good people you can go to for that. We're specialists in kind of making your car look nice is probably the easiest way to summarise it.
It's just carbon fibre goodies.
Yeah. I think, carbon fibre was definitely where we started. And to be honest, the way we started was kind of backwards in the way that most people do. But we got into carbon fibre and now do a kind of whole different range of styling products like ABS plastic and goes from kind of...
Yeah, it seems that probably in the last 6 months, you've probably started doing more like BMW and performance parts and becoming more of maybe like a one-stop shop for that.
I mean... We started off with our own product range and obviously developed our own products, but more and more customers were coming to us and being like, look, really like the service, really like the way that kind of dealing with you is.
Yeah,
I'm having massive issues trying to get parts from my dealers.
And then you're like the place to go for those kind of things, which is great because I guess, especially from knowing you, I've known you for what, three and a half years, something like that. Crazy. Originally I would have thought of you as if we had any BMWs in, we would recommend those. But now I guess it's from looking at your website recently as well, you've got different, like you've got Porsches, Teslas, different markets so that everyone's like you are the carbon fiber or the parts specialist for
the whole like the BMW thing was never intentional.
We did that pretty well, to be fair. If that weren't intentional.
Yeah, it wasn't. No, we did it. Yeah, like obviously most people with BMWs, and if you're going to modify us, I would like to think probably know about us. Kind of the Audi scene, the Tesla scene, whatever. I don't think those guys probably know too much about us at the minute. But kind of siloing, sort of picking BMW specifically was never the aim. It was more of I've always been a fan of BMs. My whole family have always had like 3 Series or whatever it might have been.
And that was like the original stuff was, I saw a video the other day, Joe Achilles video with the original OG M2.
That was 2016.
Bringing the parts out. Shit. Yeah. See, that's a long...
But that was, ironically, that first video was when that was the first time anyone sort of knew about us, when we first met Joe. And actually, Joe will testify to this because that was his first big video. So to be part of that...
it's quite cool.
Yeah, it was quite cool. So we've had
because I guess now, especially kind of going on to affiliate marketing and YouTube, like Joe is off camera, we talk about like how each other of our businesses can advertise or push into different markets. There's so many different YouTubers who might get higher views, but it's the quality of the people it's going out to. And I guess 100%. With Joe's market, yours is like awesome.
Yeah, I mean, this year Black Friday was great, but I would say last year with Black Friday, we dropped a video with Joe about 10 days before, and that changed the course of the whole of Black Friday for us.
Silver M2.
That was the Hockenheim Silver M2, and we kind of showed a few of the M2 kits, and all we sold Black Friday then was M2 competition parts.
I guess that is such a handy, like for you, such a good way of pushing into the market that YouTuber, for example, has that car, and then the people that are following him are going to be M2 owners or similar.
Yeah, completely. And I obviously not getting too deep into Joe, but just talking about other YouTubers specifically, and it kind of specifically comes back to Joe as well. Like we've had other YouTubers and content creators that we might have worked with in the past that are much bigger in terms of subscriber base, you would imagine have much more influence. But in terms of the actual back end stuff, in terms of the actual sales, kind of off the back of that, it's not said what you would expect it to say.
Yes, yeah.
So probably more broadly speaking about business, really, like with affiliates in YouTube, if you are a small business owner, like looking at the YouTubers and the influencers that you're working with, don't just look at the subscriber count.
Yeah, it's like the quality of the views, and there's so many new guys that I think are doing like really, really good videos, like Car Mad Dad. There's loads to think of that might not be as big as like some of the huge YouTubers, but the people that are viewing it are generally interested in the content they're creating and all that kind of thing. But,
yeah, definitely. And I have to give a shout out to Tim Williams, because he's definitely one of those guys. Like, I think he's getting to around 10,000 subs, but the amount of amount of business he brings in for us, there's a real, like, if you are a small business owner and you're not using that form of marketing, you are missing out on sales. You're missing out on revenue, without question.
Definitely. I think, well, from speaking from previous experience with Ricky, Living Life Fast, so we shot a video in 2018, and in the last part of 2018, 50% of our revenue came from one video, which is nuts.
Yeah.
So there's great value in that, which is really, really good. And I think affiliate marketing is a very powerful way of promoting businesses.
But it's got to be done carefully. You've got to do it the right way. Yeah.
And I think as well, it's not going over the top. So we, at the moment, are really focusing on referrals, because for us, as a business point of view, it costs much less per lead. Yeah. We're not going out to spend loads of money on Google ads and other things that we do. And it's also an easier buying process, I think.
And you're in a really great position where your business speaks for itself, because the car rolls out, it's a transformation. It's almost like you've had your car wrapped. It's that much of a transformation in the way that, and I think that's the thing with detailing. When you buy a car, like when you get your car,
you want it to, it's that, I think hopefully, obviously there's so many fantastic detailers across the UK and everything else, and we're just trying to put a bit of a twist on it and build that experience as well. So we always talk about the experience here. I think once you've experienced what hopefully I envision, the professionalism and everything else coming through the doors and all the different investments that we make, hopefully it kind of gives a good image for that.
Without a doubt, mate. Without a doubt. I think AWC, for me, the way that you guys have tried to kind of reinvigorate the new car delivery process, that whole element of, I've just bought a brand new car from a dealership, it's absolutely stunning, but it's fallen short in just a couple of areas, and then it comes here, it rolls out, and it's better than the factory finish.
That's it.
It's that experience, and I think kind of the reveal you do, the handover process, and if you can do little things like that,
I think that's what all makes the little touches. And like on your side of things in the business, obviously, when I've just been bored or at home and going on your website, there's always like someone there. Sam, your brother Sam, is always there, or I don't know if it's Josh now, available to chat pretty much, not 24/7, but there's always assistance and support. And I think that's especially for your market, where there's so many new people and everything like that. What you do to take it to the next level is definitely, you can see that from the outside.
I think something that I've been really keen for us to prioritize as a business is that the service will sell the products, in the sense that we do some great job, but we do some great stuff with marketing. We partner with some great photographers. We partner with some great content creators that help sell the image of the product. But the product is only part of the equation. So just coming onto service, like that whole element of being able to contact us kind of almost 24 hours a day, like Josh, who is our sales guy, is militant with it, absolutely militant with it.
I must say, butting in a bit, the one thing, hats off to Josh, you, whoever's doing the M2 owners group, man, like anyone posts a photo of a car, within 2 minutes, Josh has got a comment about carbon fiber parts, anything like that. So, I don't really go too much on Facebook groups, and you can see it just scrolling through. It's like he's becoming the Lewis Reed of car sales for MTs.
That's good.
Which is sick.
That's a good association.
I'm very happy with that association.
Yeah, that was a good association.
That was a good one.
I think it was something that come to my attention at the start. Well, no, end of last year, probably around about November last year, and I was just thinking, Facebook for us. There's a couple of different areas of like the aftermarket scene. That you've got kind of the guys that have just got into driving, they're a bit young, they want to spend a bit of cash on their car, but they've not got a lot of cash to spend. They want to kind of do cheap mods here and there, still buy badges, they'll buy these, they'll buy that, they'll do kind of the smaller element of it. And then you have the kind of the mid-tier guys, they're a little bit seasoned, they've bought their mods before, this might be their second car, it might be their second outing. And then you have kind of the older guys that are kind of 25, 30 plus who have got a bit more expendable income. They're on the Facebook forums, they consider all of their purchases. And typically speaking, they'll be, like I say, they'll be on Facebook forums or they'll be on kind of the BMW forums or whatever. And one of the things that we noticed was that we were getting a lot of the kind of younger audience that will come by, but typically speaking, those guys wouldn't either come back or they'd go elsewhere otherwise. And as a business, we had to kind of go, right, what do we want to do? We want to bring in the customers that are going to keep coming back. And
for sure.
Facebook had a big element of that. So, we made a bit of an initiative to say like, right, we're going to have a lot more visibility.
Push that side. And it's definitely, you can definitely see it, which is good. So,
yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Going on to something else. So obviously COVID, when this is being filmed, we're obviously in COVID period at the moment. For you as a business, what were the struggles? Were there struggles? Did you take advantages, disadvantages? What's it been like?
Mate, I would say there's probably a lot of people that are still in this place, like in this dark place. But I remember January last year, I was like, it's the Chinese virus. It's not coming to us. It's never going to come to us. Like, it's not, it's one of those things that's never going to attack us. And then kind of February, March come, there was whispers of lockdown. And then, March come around, our supply chain was cut off completely. We had no stock. We had a load of orders that were still needed to be fulfilled. We were in a position where I was like, right, okay, I'm going to have to consider my options here and sort of shut shop. But I would say that the initial reaction from the government with the bounce back loans, with the grants, although we wasn't eligible for a grant actually, was actually really positive. I felt that there was a lot more confidence at the start.
Agreed.
Anyway.
I think the obviously there's different views on everything, but the government support for businesses, don't get me wrong, like everyone's been in the same situation. We're currently in a situation where we're low on cash. In fact, very low on cash. Yeah. Very little work coming in. Like I know people who, I've just spoken to someone today, aims for 150 hours work a week between their staff. They've got 6 booked in for next week. Like it is a serious problem. And I'm pretty visible. Like I'll tell people when it's becoming a problem, and right now it is. But the most important thing is that it is a mindset shift as well. Like you can't. I know it's very easy to blame COVID and everything else, and obviously that is one of the main reasons. But there is other things you can do. Like, can we push the product side of things? Can we X, Y, Z? Do all these different things to try and just give a bit of. It is hard, and we have conversations with the team here, and you're like, there's so many disadvantages, but one positive, and you just got to take it.
One of the things that I've been doing to myself is been asking myself.
We all know.
I think you need to question if you're saying like COVID's doing this to me, which there is 100% going to be an impact on your business without a doubt. You have to question yourself and say, right, this is happening. I'm in this scenario. Can I do something about it? Yes. Can I do something about it? No. Mm-hmm. You have those two options. Either way, it's kind of either it's kind of in your control or it's out of your control, but there's no point worrying about it. The best thing you can do is question yourself and say, am I doing everything I can possibly be doing?
Yeah.
One of the things that we had, like one of the attitudes I took in March was that rather than try and let COVID make me roll into a ball and just go, oh no, it's happening to me, and then that's that, I made sure that me and Sam, we stepped up our marketing by 100%. We literally doubled what we were doing. If we were posting
that's it.
twice
Once
a week,
a day, you're
we
posting
posted
twice.
it again. If we were on the forums and we were doing this, we just upped everything. And if you can honestly say to yourself that you've done that and you've properly stepped it up and you're proud of yourself, then obviously...
Then there's it becomes that point. But there were so many people that I spoke to last year that were, like this year's a write-off kind of thing. Yeah. And you think like, it's a write-off, but we're very much all in the same situation and a bit of positives kind of thing, and just try and find it. But don't get me wrong, it's easier said than done. I've been in these very situations, like sleepless nights and not sleeping very well, thinking how am I going to pay 4 or 5 payroll kind of things, and you got a few valets coming in each day. Like everyone's in that situation, but it's the positivity you can take.
I think one of the interesting things about COVID is that it's been a huge leveler. Like even people that have got 20, 30 years experience in the industry that you could be in or that we're in, no one's ever experienced this before. So we're all experiencing it for the first time. So it almost doesn't really matter what you've done or what you've achieved before. You're kind of looking at this from a fresh pair of eyes.
110%.
So I think with that, there's a tremendous opportunity, especially if you're a little bit younger, you're just starting out in the business, or even if you're a bit older, if you've got the balls to actually grab it kind of by the throat and say, actually, no, I'm not going to let this get me down.
Definitely. But talking, obviously, there's so much disadvantages there, and we could go on for ages
you could talk about COVID forever.
Business owners and how hard done by and all that stuff. But let's be real. There's a lot more advantages as well as the bad periods. So like I know for sure you had some of your best months. We had our best month in July. We smashed some targets out the park. Not so much now, but last year.
For us it was. I'm obviously saying all this, and I'm like, it's so easy, it's so fine. But obviously that's coming from we had I would be wrong to say that we didn't have a really good result from COVID, which sounds counterintuitive. But it being a mainly kind of 95% online business, people were on furlough, they were still at home. So we were in a really, really fortunate position to take the ball by the horns, if that makes sense, and really kind of take advantage of it.
I think personally, from when I was at home in the original the original March lockdown, it was working. But when you get them gaps, it's like, what can you do to fulfill that gap that you used to get by day-to-day routine? So it might be, instead of going to work and being busy all the time, people are less busy, maybe furloughed, more cash. We had the biggest boom ever when we came out of that first lockdown. It was like, and I'm sure you did as well, March, April was lockdown, June, July. Crazy. Like nothing that we would have ever expected, which is really, really good. But like you said, there's pros and cons of everything, and obviously taking aside the actual medical side of things, there's not a great thing at all.
No, 100%. But do you know what? It's funny. I've actually every time I sit down to dinner with like my mum and dad and stuff, the COVID will come up, and I'm like, right, I'll walk away from this table. I'm not talking about this no more. Like it's banned. I'm not.
This is like
it.
Me at home. Yeah, anything that comes up, my dad loves it. The stats and stuff.
Yeah.
And I kind of just obviously social distance, all that stuff.
He's like 1,000 dead today. Know that, didn't you? 1,000 dead. There's another one. My mate down the pub, he told me do it. And I'm like, Dad, what are you talking about? But it is, it is what it is.
So anyway, leading on to more positive things.
Yeah.
I see you got a new car.
I did. I've spent the last year driving a van, to be honest. So there has to be an element of there has to be an element of give there. But I have treated myself to a new car. We've got a 2017 RS5.
That is very smart.
Yeah,
very smart.
Yeah, it's really nice.
You were calling me last week, and for the last few months about a Porsche Macan. Porsche Macan.
Yeah, so I've just bought a house. So
And
in
now
my
it's an
head, I was
RS5.
like, right, I'm gonna end up like this family man. Like I'm gonna need
dogs
this
in the
4x4.
back.
Yeah, I'm gonna need all of these things. Like, you know, I live in Ongar, so it's gonna be, you know, there's gonna be floods there and all this. I'm gonna need it. And my brother, he works with me, he's our ops manager, and he turned around and he was like, mate, if you get that Macan, I will not rate you at all. So
That's,
okay.
I was low key like, they're really, really, really nice. To be fair, I'm a big Macan fan.
Yeah.
I think Macans are sick cars, and they're great. I recently had one. I sound like a proper influencer now.
Yeah.
I recently
had
for,
one. Yeah.
you know, they gave it to me and all that. Joking. I did try one out for like 12 hours kind of thing, half a day, and they are insane. But RS5, he's just absolutely revved the bollocks out of it outside, and it sounds pretty good.
Yeah,
so.
they do. I've got a couple of mods lined up already, which I won't go into too much detail, and I don't know when this is going out. I don't know if I've announced it yet. If I have, or if I haven't, maybe just don't tell anyone, because I'm going to do a little social thing and sort of announce it a bit. But yeah, I mean, it wasn't on the cards. Literally last week, and I can't tell my missus this because I've told her that I've been looking at this.
He hasn't even
months.
told her that you've got a car.
I told her it was an A5 diesel. She's like, "Well, sounds loud."
It sounds pretty good for an A5 diesel. Quite an expensive one as well.
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
So yeah, it weren't even on the cards. And like we were talking about earlier, we're BMW specialists. So a part of the Audi was kind of me saying, right, I need to kind of get out of that rut. But then, mate, they're such a cool car.
Yeah,
I think they're so underappreciated as well. I've not seen any
new
on the
RS5.
road.
I've barely seen any, and they're 2-3 years old now.
Yeah.
And they're like, the inside of it is nuts. And what I think was cool with you, I was chatting with Ryan and Jack earlier about this. I said, like you had an RS5, and the first comment was like, you didn't get an M2.
Yeah.
Because it's like, that's all you do, isn't it? M2s,
Yeah.
M3s, M4s. So it's quite cool. I don't know if you thought about this, but I was thinking in my head, is this your entry into the RS market?
100%. Yeah, it has to be. If we don't take this opportunity, it would be silly. So yeah, we're going to cook up a load of cool products. To be honest, I don't know how big the RS market is in the UK. I probably should have researched that. But I was kind of
That sounds like man maths.
Yeah. But yeah, I think we'll probably get some cool stuff cooked up for it, 100%, and it'll be down here in a flash.
Yes,
for
I'm looking forward to that. Giving it a good old treat. A few little.
I'll put it in valet mode though, mate. You're not driving it. I don't trust you.
Oh, you know, I'll take it out of that. No, joking. It all stays nice and safe in here.
Yeah, I know, mate,
but you're looking at a Tesla as well.
There were so many. We went through. I had a list on my notepad. I shortlisted everything. It was C63, but I was like, right, I'm actually probably going to daily it, so I can't do 11 miles per gallon. That's just gonna. I'll put the business into liquidation within the space of 6 months. Yeah. RS5, TTRS, but I had a TT about 3 years ago, so I was like, I don't want to go back to that really. Alfa Romeo Giulietta Quadrifoglio.
That's a bit of a.
That was.
They're cool.
I was on the verge,
but there's I don't know. I think they're sick. Like, they're really cool cars, and we've had a few in a black one and the tricolour reds and a few other bits. There is something like, they are Italian, aren't they?
They are Italian, yeah.
There is something very Italian about like the quadrifoglio and all that, the huge paddles that come out of like a Ferrari California.
Mamma mia.
Yeah,
That's like
exactly.
massive, aren't they? Like,
and they sound cool and everything else. So I think it's a good proposition. What would you have? An M3 F80?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even. Yeah, an M3.
That.
Do you know what? It's really bad. An M2 and an M3 weren't even on the shortlist, and that's not because I don't like them. The main reason for the M2 is because there's a potential of one of them entering the team's garage at some point. And the M3 kind of, for me, we see a lot of them. We have a lot of them. I've been in them a lot. It just sort
Wise
of, I wanted
words,
to say,
yeah,
I just wanted to have something a bit special, like that I've not tried before. So yeah, the Quadrifoglio was like that close, but I've done a bit more research into it, and the well, the reliability is classic Italian, obviously, but you have to get a 2019 or a 2018 model up, because they then have 5-year roadside assistance, 5-year mechanical warranty, and 3-year something else. But they're kind of out of our budget, really.
This is the thing with all these. Although saying that, we had a customer that came in with a black, really good customer that came in recently with a black quadrifoglio, and the deal on that was like a few K over what a used one was. So it was a no-brainer, and it was brand new. And this thing was like spec'd. It was nice.
Yeah, I mean, actually, on top of that, after that, I was like, do I trust myself, never having driven a car as fast as this with a rear-wheel drive Italian 510 brake horsepower car? Probably not. So that was an element as well. Like, there's actually a genuine element of fear.
Yeah.
So I considered the Stelvio, actually, the Stelvio Quadrifoglio.
The big 4x4.
So because it's the same engine, gets amazing reviews all round, but it just didn't tick the whole social aspect as well.
The social aspect. Yeah, I guess. Well, we've both got vans, and personally, I think the vans are the best cars in the world.
Mate, they're like rental cars.
550 miles I get out of a tank for what, 60 quid, and you can. I chuck my bikes and stuff in the back.
Mate, I was texting Alex like a couple months back in the summer, being like, mate, I just got over 600 miles on the tank.
It's like a competition. I've got 500. There's one thing that you tried to show me the other day about how you put your phone in the secret compartment. Well, I tried that once, and my phone went so far flying when I put the brakes on.
You have to go one step further. I bought some anti-slip matting.
Of course you did. Clever.
Yeah.
Good. What should we cover now? I told you, wouldn't there would be a point
where you run out of things to say.
You run out of questions. But
why don't we talk about your car history? Because, I mean, I don't know how much you've gone into that, but for a chap your age, we won't get into the whole age thing, but we might as well, just a little bit. You've had more cars than hot dinners, mate. It's ridiculous. Yeah, you have chewed through them. Can you list them off?
A bit out of control.
I need to hear the list, because I need to hear the definitive list, because I don't know it. What is it? Let's go through it one by one.
Best car ever, Fiesta, first car. While I was at school, I looked at a Fiat Punto 1.4 T-Jet.
Was it yellow?
No, red. And a friend had one, and I went out for a test drive in it. And the other one that was $3,000. And the Fiesta was $5,000. And I stretched the budget. I did a few more cars and managed to tie up every last penny while I was 18 into a Fiesta 1.6 metal edition.
I raise you a 1.7 diesel Volkswagen Lupo.
Why don't we go and get these cars? We'll have a little drag race.
Honestly, this thing was like a transit. But honestly, it was
sick.
It was so loud.
That's cool. After Fiesta, and then I was working over the road. It was pretty much just me.
Yeah.
No bills, nothing. Just paid rent each month for that. So again, and genuinely no joke, the night before I was counting pennies behind the back of my bed because I had stretched the budget a bit and just been a bit silly. So I then got age 18, and it was a 235i.
Sure. Yeah.
And
that's the normal car you get at 18.
Yeah, that was a joke. That car was a joke. First powerful rear-wheel drive car. Driving it through London.
I presume the insurance was more than the car, or was you all right?
I tell you what, all of these cars, they've all been they haven't been crazy insurance. Like some people pay 3, 4, $2,500. None of them have been near that.
Mate, if I could get cheap insurance, I would 100% have done that.
I don't know. Well, it's just a bit of luck. And then, 3-6 months into that, realised that, funny enough, that's when I got March. I've done it again instead of Mark. Mark, our business coach, and learned a bit more about how maybe a business should be run, may need a bit more cash flow, that kind of stuff. Sold the car and got a Fiesta ST, blue one. That was fantastic.
I think this is when I come into the picture, because I think, was it the Mark III RS?
There was one in between there.
Of course.
So we went from Fiesta ST, which, even though I did all the checks, I found out that was a stolen car, which was not ideal.
Good.
And I'm pretty like meticulous, or if that's the word for doing quality checks on cars and the usual.
I'm not like
HPLs
that. I just kind of buy them.
It was a complex process as to why it was, but got rid of that. Bought a Golf R, loved it. DSG, really good fun. Then I went
back. Oh, then you went back to Fiesta ST then?
No. Oh no, Jack. Then I went Focus RS, blue one. That was sick. Loved
so we're on the fourth car now.
Fiesta, BM, Golf R, Focus. Yep. Then
you're now, I don't know what, 15?
Yes, 13 currently. I've just turned a teenager. £4 pocket money. Obviously. Then I went
you went back to Fiesta ST at this point?
No. Focus. It was after the Focus, and I looked around for ages.
It was just a Porsche.
And I went. It was a stupid decision. Okay, I absolutely loved it, but there was the Boxster GTS.
Mate, that sounded
which
ridiculous.
was an unbelievably phenomenal car, and I was extremely grateful to have that at 9. That was on my 19th birthday, and I've got texts on so it was July the 19th, but on July the 18th, I was texting a customer, and he texted me and he said, "Have you found a car yet?" Because I said I've always fancied picking up a car on the birthday, and unfortunately, I hadn't found the car, and I found the car at 6:30 in the morning on my birthday.
No way.
And rushed into something that I shouldn't have done.
You wanted to feel the romantic kind of,
and it was an 8-hour buying process when we got there, because it was just,
Did you want to drive it away that day then?
Yeah, it's very silly. I ruined my birth. Well, I didn't. Okay, I completely take that back, because that sounds like the most stupidest thing I've ever said.
I had this thing. It was a Porsche. I had to wait 8 hours on my birthday.
Silly boy.
So
all of these decisions so far have been very, very silly.
It's a heart thing, though. It's a heart decision you make. Like, it's not. You can't always make decisions with your head. With business, you do head decisions, but with cars, we're emotional beings, aren't we? Like, not getting too deep, but a lot of the time, if you love cars, most of the decisions you make your decision, and then you do the maths after to be like, this was a right or wrong thing to do. Yeah.
Then we'll cover the last ones, which was Boxster. Lost a load of money on it.
Oh.
Wasn't paying myself any money either, because getting into a business, starting getting into like a full business with employees and all that kind of thing. Decided to sell it. Bought a Fiesta ST Mark 8.
Oh no, sorry, Mark 3. Mark 8. Yeah,
that's a
the Mark 7, isn't it? Yeah.
So I went Mark 8, which was really good fun. Absolutely loved that car. And then went to
Didn't that stay for 2 weeks?
That was a very silly. I don't know why that happened really. And then we went M2 Comp. That was phenomenal. And then my insurance just tripled when it came to renewal. No claims, accidents, nothing like that. No changes, and I couldn't.
The M2 comps are notorious for it, mate. I think they've been written off by so many people. But anyway, we're on 8, I think now.
The van in between. So we'll make it lucky.
Well, I'll give that a half. Yeah.
Hey, it's the best car there is. And now, Porsche 718, which is my beauty.
Yeah. Is that a long timer?
Yeah.
All right.
To be fair, I don't like the cars. While you're young, I'm living at home still. It is what it is.
I think there's a lot of people that would go, "Oh my God, I can't believe he's done that." But if you were
including me.
Yeah, but if you're in a position where your cars are your business, you do live at home, you do have expendable income. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Like, this is our passion. This is what we do. So I try and be that. I try and be that persuasive when I try tell my girlfriend and my family the same thing, but they don't.
All that man maths that comes in. Well, if I buy this one, I think I can actually make some money. 6 months later, loses 10 grand on a car.
But you were chatting actually. You said a minute ago about when the business become a proper business, and I just wanted to go into that because, ironically, we had a similar point. I would say Start of last year, despite we've been running like 5 years, the firm's been running 5 years, I've been running it full time for 5 years. There was a point where, like last year, I was like, wow, this is actually, we've got a person in every...
That's right, because the one, I don't know if you can call the unit going into a full-time, like, do you know what I mean? Because the guy... Do you want to go into that quickly? The quick photo, because I saw some photos the other day.
Yeah,
I'll go small shed, big shed. This shed is like plush. You used to have well,
yeah, I'll get into
I'm not going to go into that story, but you used to have customers coming like down the road for... It is such a similar, going on to... I'm trying to make a point here.
Yeah.
You had like the big shed and people coming past, and I guess it's the same... For me, we had the cars lining up ready for car washes for 5 minutes.
I mean, the way we started was I don't know how much time we've got. We running long, sorry. The way we started, you're going to need another couple of hours. This is a long one. Just seen tumbleweed go across the back. No, so the way we started was I was working in the city, always loved my cars, was into BMWs. I was like 17, 18 at the time. I had my own BMW 1 Series and was on babybmw.net. And this was 2015, and BMW were just announcing the M2, didn't have the M-style mirrors. I come up with some...
I always think this, I can't believe you actually like... It's almost like you were, because now everyone does it, and don't get me wrong.
No, like, mate, I'm sorry, I will take credit for it, 100%.
For M2s with those mirrors, because everyone has them now. Like everyone who has, whether it be preference or not, M2 OG or LCI, most people have M4 style mirrors.
I'll go one step further, and I'll say BMW copied me, and they decided they see the mirrors that we made, and we're like, yeah, we've got to put them on the M2. No, we was on the forums, and every single person was saying, I love the mirrors on the M3, M4. BMW have cheaped out and not put them on the M2, which was true. There was no reason why they couldn't, and they proved that with the M2 comp. And I remember it wasn't even like a money thing. I just thought, I'd love to be able to fix what everyone's moaning about on the forum, like try and get a bit of it was probably more of an ego thing, really, just to try and fix it. I won't beat around the bush. I found a supplier online that was making other mirror caps. I think they were for like Golf R's or something like that. I can't remember what it was at the time, genuinely can't. But he was making these special mirrors, and I said, look, I literally took a sheet of paper and designed this. Sick. It was so rough. I literally designed it on a sheet of paper, drew it out. I was like, right, this is the cap that's on the car at the minute. I want to put this point on it so it looks like this. And the supplier was like, okay, we're going to need a bit of money to get into this. So I think I had 1,500 quid in my savings at the time, and look, dealing with China at the best of times is ropey and dodgy. So to send them money with no promise of a return was sketchy, and my whole family thought I was mental. But it turned out well, and I think I paid 1,500 quid, which covered a mould cost for like the ABS plastic caps. They're dead cheap out in China, and it paid for 10 caps, which were 10 caps. So had them made, got the 10 caps. I think I ended up having to sell the 10 caps for like nearly 200 quid a pop. And it took like 6 months to sell those 10 caps. Yeah. But within the last 3 weeks of those 6 months, we sold like 3 in quick succession.
Quickly, yeah.
And it just started to, and then with that money, just put it back into the business. Well, it wasn't a business. I just put it back into my pot, bought a load more, and kind of, before I knew it, I had to take all my clothes out of my wardrobe.
And now the pot's pretty big.
Yeah. No, it's not. I promise it's not. I had to take all my clothes out of my wardrobe and actually put them in the loft in plastic bags so I could turn my wardrobe into a makeshift packing station. So I'd have all the boxes with the products that were boxed on the bottom, and then on the bottom there would be like a reel with all of the paper that you'd pull out, and all the scissors and stuff. So that was the first 6 months, 8 months, and it was literally just kind of getting up in the morning at 5:30, packing, dispatching orders, printing off labels. And at the time, it's quite cute thinking about it now. I used to wrap all the orders like presents. So it'd literally be like fold it up, and then I'd get paper string around it, so it'd like turn up. But mate, it literally take me about half hour to wrap one thing. I was so militant with making it look perfect.
That's so cool.
So yeah, that was where we started, and obviously that kind of it snowballed from there, and people started going, well, do you do this, do you do that? And as we started to get more of a relationship with our supplier there, he put us on to other people. We then developed a relationship with them, and we're in a position now where the business has grown so much that we have our own suppliers that build to our spec, to build to our specification, which is a bit of a USP really. There's a lot of people that you see online and they'll be selling products of similar look,
I'm not going to lie, from an outsider it does look like a tough market to a very tough market, and probably quite a quite a frustrating market to go, look, this is our product and this is maybe why it's better. But I guess that's general business in every sense. There's
mate, definitely because whilst just being honest, anyone could almost go and do in the sense what we're doing, as in like could go online, buy said product and do it. But what they can't do is they haven't got the resource. Well, they might have, but I doubt they have. I doubt they've got the resources to do what we do with the test fitting, the iterative, the iterative improvement of products that have taken years. Why don't we make this a
challenge?
Go on.
No, why don't you make a challenge? You've got to get a viewer to be able to do all this stuff.
I've actually got another challenge in mind, which is a similar sort of thing, but that'll be a social competition I'm going to go into because you're going to be a judge on that. I think I'm mentioning it to you briefly.
I did get a text about this yesterday.
Yeah. I'll tell, but there is going to be a challenge involved. I'll come into that.
What are we judging, or can we not say? Can you not say?
So it's going to be along the modification sort of thing, but it's going to be centered around lockdown and kind of what you could do at home. That's what I'm going to say at the minute, but there'll be more coming.
I like it.
Yeah,
thinking outside the box.
Yeah, there'll be more coming from that soon. But yeah, where was I? We'd done that, and then the business got to a point where it grown so much that I couldn't work out my wardrobe anymore. So I moved to a bike shed outside and was
that
using
this
little small one, this little shed, but it was bigger than the wardrobe. And then it got to a point where I couldn't do that anymore. My mum and dad, luckily, we've got a really tiny garden, but they basically agreed that so long as when I'm done with it, they can have it as theirs, they would let me build a cabin at the end of the garden, which is now their party shed, actually.
Yeah, I remember going to that for the first time, I was going to say the party shed. Yeah. I haven't been back since. I'll have to.
It was a death.
But it was crazy. You got boxes everywhere and different like packaging and your Shopify platform and all this different stuff, and it's running out the back of your house. Right, and like, let's be real, we had customers, I won't mention names just in case, but we've had customers that you've sent down and they're like, yeah, he's fitted all these parts. And you're like, maybe it's different from a customer's point of view, but certainly from mine, where our stories are so similar, and we both started at home, whether it be washing cars and I remember having a Tesla and an Audi A4 convertible. Wow. And something else on the driveway, and you've got cars waiting for £20 washes at the time, and you're 16 and my dad was moving the cars on and off because I didn't have a license. And then from your point of view, because I've kind of been through that and that's my journey, I also get quite inspired and visualize customers coming to yours as well and having the same thing. So maybe while we were younger, we should have gone together and opened up a driveway carbon fibre and car wash business.
100%. I always said this. We always said this, actually. I mean, you should have your own drive. You should have your own hand car wash, mate. I think you should. There's definitely a market. I won't go into that. We'll probably talk about it off camera. But there's definitely a market for a proper detailing hand car wash. Mm-hmm. So it got to a point where I had to work out the cabin in the garden, and then I really loved my job in the city. I was doing marketing at the time. I really genuinely loved my job, which is difficult for most people to say.
Yeah, you do say that quite a bit.
Yeah, I really did enjoy it. It was a great industry to work in, but it got to a point where I couldn't do 100% for both. Like I was losing track. I was losing track in work, and I wasn't catching up with orders at home.
For sure.
And really fortunate to be able to go right. AutoID is not flying at the minute, but I can take a leap. So took that leap of faith and kind of haven't looked back, and obviously now we've got the unit, and that's where we are.
Staff members, and
that was where we started, wasn't it? That moment. I think you actually, ironically, had it before I did, where you brought on Jack, you brought on the detailer, you had that kind of
I could honestly speak about it for so long and bore so many people with. If
sorry.
anyone wants to come to the unit and listen to me chat a load of shit.
It's only my mum still watching.
What time's dinner?
Oh, I've got to go.
But for sure, the transition of becoming a baby business to a small business to it's such a easy concept business. Create a service that people will pay for, and therefore be able to pay good staff members and take some yourself. And for that, it does take a lot of hard work and determination to find that balance. And we're still trying to find that balance. People do look in and see it looks great, and that's the most important thing for me. But sometimes behind closed doors, let's be real, I'm not saying it's hard, but it's hard to find where you are as a business and what you can do over the next few years to be able to push it in the direction
you're constantly questioning. There's always a sense of anxiety. I think with being a business owner, there's always a sense of anxiety with this. Am I doing enough? Am I working enough hours? Am I trying hard enough? And I actually feel like I'm so lazy. And then I have my friends and my mum and my family and my dad, and they go, mate, you need to chill out. You need to slow down a bit. And in my head, and I think you're probably everyone's kind of the same. You always feel like you're not doing enough.
It's like that self. I'm trying to do a bit more reading and kind of looking into it, but it's that kind of self-consciousness of, right, am I doing the right thing? And when I'm energetic and doing stuff, I'm like, yeah, sweet, this is all going well. But it's when you're I don't know, chilling out at home, whenever that time might be, you're always thinking in your head, did you do that right? Will that customer, not that you're doing a bad job, but will that customer be happy? And it's managing all those thoughts from a young age is personally my biggest, not drawback, kind of learning curve.
100%. Because people that have been in business for years, they still deal with that and struggle with it. I'm really fortunate that my granddad, he owns a heating and ventilation business, and to be honest, was a real big inspiration by why I kind of always grew up. The reason I probably started AutoID is because I always grew up wanting to be a business owner, because I looked at my granddad and was like, wow, that is so cool. And every time I thought about it, I was like, yeah, I'm definitely going to do that. Whatever I can do, I'm going to try and do that. And I remember my nan, she always says to me, she's like, Jack, it always looks nice. You get to do all the nice holidays, but it is constant stress. And I always thought, nah, it's fine. I know what I'm doing. It's going to be cool. Don't worry about it. And she was right. You never switch off properly.
That's the. But saying that, one thing for me is taking on staff has really helped with that turn off aspect. It has on and off patches, if you know what I mean. So when you're crazy busy, obviously you're going to be more turned on, and straight away in the morning you're thinking. But I think it's important as well to chat with staff members and make sure they're on that same page as well. Because if we didn't have staff members or people knowing, right, when's that car going? And when's that car being collected? What times are those? Invoices, payments, all the different fast forward thinking things. If there's only one of you doing it, you're shooting yourself in the foot.
100%. I think one of the bits of advice I've actually never been given, and one of the things I would say is probably most paramount, and it might just be obvious, so probably no one ever says it, but the thing I would put money into, if I had endless amounts of cash, I would just buy endless amounts of staff, day after day after day, making sure that my recruitment process is obviously in place and it's properly, and I'm employing the right people. But you will find jobs for people to do, because if they're not, talking from my business personally, if they're not,
you could get a builder to get you a new staircase. That's what I was thinking.
Oh mate, that's sorted. No, don't. If Ross, he doesn't know, but it's sorted, mate. It's fine.
The staircase, just a bit of clarity there. I went to the unit
shaky.
3-4 weeks ago to collect a few bits. It might have I think it was longer than that.
Yeah, it might have been.
And your brother Sam was like, yeah, there's some boxes upstairs. Okay, I almost took down the whole office in the unit.
Yeah, it was shaky.
It went a bit lopsided.
Yeah, put a sign up actually to be careful, walk upstairs. But yeah, with staff, you'll always kind of, because if they're not marketing for you, they can help source products, and if they're not doing that, they can start pitching for business. If they're not doing that, they can pitch for investment. If they're not doing that, they can be operations. If they're not, there's always a way to bring someone in, so long as you're bringing the right people in. Like you say, bringing staff on has transformed my business. The way our staff has grown, I mean, our goal for last year was to grow from 2 people, so it was just me and my brother. I was obviously the managing director, Sam was the ops manager. The goal was to bring on 2 people. We've ended up bringing on kind of 5, nearly 6 people last year. And now there's a person at kind of every single point. You know, we've got our logistics guy, we've got our sales guy, we've got the marketing guy, that's me. We've got the finance lady, you know, we've got the media guy. You know, we've got all of those elements different now that aspects are starting to be covered off. I didn't even talk about my brother, sorry, the ops guy. So there's sorry Sam. But just as what you said, like that, just having that, I can finally take Saturdays off. I don't work Saturdays anymore, which was
a main thing that we both do business coaching with Mark, action coach. For me, the main thing, I've still got a goal 19th of July this year that I can have that the business can work without me profitably, and I don't need to be here if I'm ill. I can take the time off. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying I'm not working, but the option's there. And I did actually I worked all over Christmas instead of taking that time off, and took 2 weeks off start of Jan.
Yeah.
And the processes and all the hard work with systems and staff and all that kind of thing came together, and it was incredible that I didn't actually need to be here, which was a really good thing from my point of view. Obviously, at the moment, there's still a lot of hard work, and we wouldn't be able to do that forever, but I think we're both kind of aiming in that direction so that the option's there.
Yeah, I mean, Mark kind of, first thing he would say to us was, there's probably 3 key things he speaks about really, was focus on profit, the point of power, which is kind of your accountability, responsibility. Where are you on that chart? Are you taking responsibility for what you're doing? And the third thing is systems and processes. Actually, no, the fourth thing, there's probably 4 things, the other one's test and measure. But the third thing, systems and processes. If you can tell yourself, I don't need systems and processes, I'll just do my day-to-day job. But you trust me, you can write a manual on everything. And if you do, it will work. Your whole business will work better for it, 100%.
We didn't used to do any of it. So a card, like, we're still working on it now, but someone used to come in, sweet, I'll just go on Word to create a quote, and then I'm going to export the Word document to a email. Then I'm going to put that in an Excel sheet just to let them know that I've quoted it. And then that's going to create a date when I'm going to do this. And then I'll go to QuickBooks to send it. Like, this process used to take ages. So when we found a system that we're like, sweet, let's spend 6 months and invest some money into it. Wow, it's phenomenal what it does now, which is great.
Definitely.
But anyway, we're probably chatting on an hour and 5 minutes in.
Oh wow,
which is crazy. You can just chat like mad. So maybe a bit of inspiration from something called the High Performance Podcast. At the end of all podcast, at the end of all of their podcasts, they say, what are the 3?
Takeaways?
3, forget about that. What is the number 1 piece of advice you would give to a 18-year-old looking to start a business? And then we're going to finish it up.
Start. That would be my point. Like, don't just keep planning it. Don't just keep passing it off to the next day. Don't just say, oh, well, I can't do that because I've got work. Don't just say, oh, because there's this. Stop making excuses and just start it. Doesn't matter what you do. Research the product. Research the market. Start saving your money. Just do something rather than procrastinate and wait for it to happen. Starting a business is about kind of action, implementation, and actually doing things, because you will make mistakes. If you don't make mistakes, you're not going to make anything. That's probably my key thing. So just make your mistakes, learn, and do it. That'd be my key advice.
Definitely. I think mine would be visualize more than ever and take action on that. I've visualized every single day about like nice cars, time off, all these things from a young age. Visualize more than ever now, like on the good things. And I'm not saying money things, because don't get me wrong, money does not buy happiness. We're not saying that, but kind of visualize on the good things that can happen, the time off, the holidays, or just spend, I don't know, taking a Friday off and going with some family or girlfriend or whatever to a nice restaurant, you know?
Yeah.
You know, you're like longing on a bit of a tangent here, but visualize.
It's getting really philosophical.
Visualize about good stuff, whether that be. Finish my point, will you, Jack? No, visualize an action. So take action on the things that you look forward to do.
No. I get what you're saying. You're basically,
there.
That whole kind of vision board thing is key, mate.
Yeah,
it
really
sounds so cringy. It's like one of those things you see on like an American seminar, but it does work. If you believe it, it works. Believe, achieve.
Okay. We'll call it a day there before we go on any more tangents.
I've got one more. No, I'm joking. Go on.
Sorry. But yeah, I hope everyone enjoyed the podcast. My name's Alex from AWC. This is Jack from AutoID, and we're looking forward to doing a few more bits, maybe some more content together, bit of RS5 action.
Yeah, definitely.
That'd be cool. Bit of a detailing video, anything like that.
Some more info on this very soon.
Oh yeah, a blue one to fit on my car.
Yeah, hopefully it fits.
There we go. Super. Well, thanks for tuning in. Hope everyone enjoyed the podcast. If you can share, comment, share instead, and subscribe to our channel, and we'll push out some more content soon.